Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is set in feudal Japan, has already sparked significant debate online, especially on Twitter, the happiest place on earth. I have a longer video about this coming out, but I wanted to talk really quickly about just this Twitter drama. There is an account called Allfather Media. I don't know, never heard of them before, but they tweeted, PSA, if you have no issue with these two characters, and there's a picture of Tom Cruise from The Last Samurai and Cosmo Jarvis from Shogun. If you have no issue with these two characters being a major part of stories about historical Japan, but you have an issue with a fictionalized rendition of Yasuke, who is a black samurai, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you're just racist. So, the claim here, which is very strident, right? It's the same kind of claim that people make all the time on social media, and Twitter in particular. If you don't like this thing, you may say the reasons you don't like it, but the only possible reason is that you're racist. I'm not sure why people turn to this so quickly, but I think it's because they score brownie points with other people who have the same mentality, which is if you don't like something that I like, or if you like something that I don't like, you must be racist. That's the only explanation. It's the only possible explanation. I retweeted him, and quote tweeted, said, "This is a bit of a straw man. I don't care that Yasuke is the protagonist of Shadows, but it is a little weird that when they finally go to Japan, which they never have yet in this series, that's this 2-decade-old series practically, they don't just have Japanese characters, yeah? And by this I meant they don't just have Japanese playable characters. There are two protagonists. One is Japanese, one is Yasuke, who is African. They don't know a lot about Yasuke. They think he was maybe from Mozambique. He came over in 1579. There's not a lot known about this historical individual. So my point is simply that, it's we've never had a Japanese set game. Maybe if this was the third game or something, it would make more sense to have a character who is not Japanese. But mostly the characters in these games, not all of them, but a lot of them, for the most part, are characters who are indigenous to the countries they're in, or are part of a larger colonization, like in Black Flag, for instance, where there's pirates who are in the Caribbean. They're obviously not indigenous, but they've been, there's been large communities of colonists in that area for a long time. But the response to this is a whole bunch of people pointing out to me that one of the characters is Japanese. Now, I'm sorry, the reason I care about this so much is that I care about literacy. I care about media literacy. I care about the simple ability to read stuff before opening your mouth and saying more stuff. This is an epidemic we have right now with people who don't read anything about anything. They just open their mouths or take to their keyboards and say things angrily, stridently. So many people responded to this tweet saying, they see there's a Japanese, what about her? Do female characters not matter? You're just ignoring her? No, I said, why don't they only have Japanese playable characters in this game? Obviously, you're going to have, if you're historically accurate, there will be Jesuits and Portuguese during this time. But I think that it makes most sense to just have a Japanese samurai and a Japanese shinobi. And make another game, make a Yasuke game, right? Like that might be really interesting outside of the Assassin's Creed framework. And for the other reason that I have about this is never in any Assassin's Creed game has one of the playable protagonists been a historical figure. They're always fictional. And it seems odd to me that suddenly they would you do this character rather than just a fictional character, a fictional samurai, whatever. And I think that people are hand-waving this away. This idea that it's racist to say this, I think is really kind of demeaning to Japanese people who might want to be represented in their own country in the first Assassin's Creed game that has ever been made about Japan. I mean, even Sucker Punch, an American company, created a Japanese game in Ghost of Tsushima with a Japanese protagonist. So I'm not quite sure this casting, I actually don't think it's racist, but I think it's weird to say that other people are racist because they have any problem with this. If you have any problem with this, you're racist. Now, personally, this is a small issue. I don't really care. Assassin's Creed is going to have much bigger issues, right? The new Assassin's Creed it's made by fucking Ubisoft, man. Of course it's going to have bigger issues. But I think it's so lame to just write off anybody who has a different opinion as being racist. I think that's childish. And I think all this strident commentary, this very boisterous, blusterous commentary goes against just basic critical thinking. And the ability to say people have different opinions and we can actually have those opinions without being complete jackasses about it. As for my tweet, I just said just Japanese characters, not Not that it doesn't have any Japanese characters, and if you could read, you would understand that. So I suggest that if you have a hard time reading something this simple, if your reading comprehension levels are that low, you should probably, I don't know, go back to community college or something, but at least log the fuck offline before you keep saying stupid shit. Just a suggestion. By all means, knock yourself out. If stupid shit is what you do, be my guest.